Hey YouTube, welcome back to another Rust adventure. We're carrying on with the farmer's adventure. This is part 4. In this part we wanted to make sure that we can get ourselves secured in a compounded base. So we spent our time learning the high walls to create a compound. A lot went on in this video, so some parts I'm going to speed up, and one of the worst parts is I forgot to have my mic on. So I'm going to have to talk you through this one. I hope you guys enjoy. Waking up on day 4 to an unrated base. Awesome. I started the day with just checking that nothing was rated yet. After this, it was an idea that I had to get as much scrap as possible to research the stone high wall so that I could start creating the compound. First things first, I got everything sorted on my farm side, make sure that my plants had enough water to survive. After eating a few of my blueberries, I decided to plant some so that I could create a god clone eventually. I got some good genes in the first few that I planted. I might have cut out the footage at some point, but I ended up killing one of my best clones. Sadness. At this point, it was time to go for a scrap run. The ocean was my friend at this point, so I grabbed myself my scrap tea and went on a scrap mission on the ocean. The ocean has always been providing me with exactly everything that I need. Scrap, components, and dive spots, plus safety, ton of fuel, everything a solo could need. There was only one thing that became my enemy eventually, and I forgot to check for sharks in this particular run. Unfortunately, I couldn't swim fast enough to get away from the shark. I was panicking a little bit, but then I remembered, just as I was running out, there was another boat on the beach. I went to the boat, pushed it back onto the ocean, and raced over to my body as fast as possible. Happy to return to my body unlooted, it was time to continue the barrel. Smash it. Because the shark killed me, my RT or boost was destroyed. So I figured, well, I can at least make some profit by recycling as many components as I could at the lighthouse. I had a bit of a jump scare when I was recycling my parts, and I ended up sitting there for quite a while in the darkness. I cut most of the footage because I sat there, I think, for at least 10 minutes waiting for something to change. After searching as much as I could, I decided it was time to try and leave. These jump puzzles when in the dark is really crazy and hard to get, for I'm satisfied that I eventually got out. The darkness wasn't my friend right now, but escaping was. So I decided I'm just going to check if there's anybody around, and I threw my combat knife down to the ground, checking for any movement, listening for any players. Satisfied that no one moved, it was time to get out of here. My heart was racing the entire boat ride home, but I was glad to see the sunrise, knowing that I could actually see where players were coming from, and happy to be finally out of there. Arriving back home, it was time to start working towards the high walls so that I could build my compound. Gathering all of the scrap together and items that I had on the boat and taking them into my home. As soon as I returned back to base, I got straight into the workbench, researched a few things on the way down to the high wall. I got the large furnace and the small oil refinery. Those parts are really good for a solo, because leaving your base for anything is quite dangerous. At this point I realized I was lacking a few resources, so after sorting out some of my boxes and placing things in the right places, I decided it was time to go for a bit of a farm run. I needed to get enough ores and stone to start building myself my gates for the compound and a few outside tool cupboards. The outside tool cupboards will at least stop people from griefing my base if they do go deep. Now that all of my resources were sorted, I could gather everything together necessary to start building myself an outside gate Now, I've never built one of these before, so it took me quite a while to figure out what I wanted to do. I've seen one or two in a few Rust videos, but it was the first time building my own gatehouse. I got a bit confused with the items that I needed. I forgot that I needed to build myself a few doors and kind of things before I even began. So I ran out there just building the base. I ended up cutting quite a lot of footage because I spent way too much time outside thinking about what I had to do. I didn't cut everything out, so at least you guys can understand most of the struggles. At this point, I realized I haven't even placed down the tool cupboard yet, so if I wanted to cancel anything I can't. And as I did, I then realized, wait, I don't even have a lock for the tool cupboard. So I panicked a bit as everything crafted and continued with at least a few upgrades on the foundation so that if somebody did come by, they couldn't destroy my scuffed work. Happy that I finally got the tool cupboard down. It was time to place a few doors and windows. I wasn't sure if I wanted to put down a fence or to have a shop front, so I decided to just go with a shop front anyways. Gives you a bit of vision on the exits of your entrance, in and out of the gate, and a few doors were crafted as well, just to make sure that everything was secure. I probably should have waited for everything to craft before I actually came to this base, but I decided I'll wait as things are going along. Now that I was done with the first entrance, it was time to put down an exterior tool cupboard. These ones I've done a few times, so they go a bit quicker. I wasn't really worried about getting in and out of the tool cupboard, so I just made sure that everything was fine. I put about 12 days of stone in there, so I didn't have to worry about ever going back in again anyways. If it got raided, oh well, at least it was locked. With both external TCs now down, I figured I wanted another gate to the east side of my base. The west side and east side. Making sure that I had multiple entrances, at least ensured that I wouldn't be door camped on one side of my base. I tried to keep this gate a little bit more simplified than the first one I created. Just using a few items, 3 triangles and a square, and it seemed to work out quite fine. The only thing was, I ran out of stone while I was creating it, and then I only realized, wait, I still don't have doors. There's a lot that I still need to learn about Rust, and I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. If you are, don't forget to like, leave a subscribe if you guys want to see any more content like this. As I'm editing this video, I am busy playing Rust just after another wipe. So I do have a few more bangers coming out, so if you guys do subscribe, I really appreciate it. Thank you for all of the support so far. No one's commented yet, so if you have watched this far, comment something nice, you know, just say, hey, I watched till this point. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys are enjoying this farmer's adventure, because the next ones aren't going to be the same. Satisfied with finally finishing both gatehouses, it was time to go for a bit of a wood run. I needed to upkeep my furnaces and make sure that everything kept running smoothly. Turning back to base, I realized I wasn't too far away on the tech tree from getting towards the stone walls. Knowing that I just needed a few little bits of scrap, I waited until nighttime to go for a final scrap run. Before that, night took quite a while to fall down, so I took some care of my well-tended plants. Everything was coming together, and it was looking closer to getting myself that pure scrap tea. Now you guys might be wondering at this point, wait, aren't you a farmer? You're supposed to sell your crops. Don't worry, I ended up putting a shop a little bit late, but selling the crops wasn't my main goal. In this wipe it was more or less to just figure out how I could get scrap securely as a solar from the ocean. So getting myself towards a good scrap tea was awesome. But I made a mistake while I was harvesting my plants. I harvested all my yellow good clones. So eventually I had to end up replanting. One of the other reasons why I've been focusing on getting the scrap tea is, of course, this is forced wipe. So gathering as many blueprints as possible can be quite difficult if you don't have a good scrap income. This is a little bit of a faulty error of mine, where I had the furnace too close to my sprinklers. Eventually it just didn't turn back on. Now it's time to go on our scrap run. While I was out running around, I realized that one of the clan bases were decaying. I decided to check it out for a bit. There was not too much I could see. The only thing I saw is that there might have been a bunker inside. I had to wait a little bit longer before I could get anything from the base, but at least I knew there was one less competitor in the area. Arriving back to base with a successful scrap run, I finally realized my mic's been off the whole time. So at least I don't have to interact too much now, but at the end of the day, I'm glad I remembered. I was just about 200 scrap away from getting myself the high walls. So I did need to go for one more farming run. Getting all of the parts needed to get myself also a scrap tea, so that I can make sure that when I go out later, I do have a scrap tea for my farming on the barrels. Oh my word, 24 hours recording and my mic's been muted all the time. I'm sorry people. Hopefully I remember what I was talking about throughout the video, so I can put a bit of a voiceover. Yeah. For now. I'm just glad that I can stop the recording. It's just the voice audio that's coming. I'm gonna try and get as many of the notes as possible on one side. Hopefully I don't get jumped. Get this depoted. I might just come back. I think at this point it's quite important for me to mention that this is a vanilla 120 plus pop server. Even though it seems quite quiet around me, there are a lot of active players. At this time I was just lucky that I wasn't running into any serious groups or a bunch of people that wanted to take my stuff. So farming seems simple, but my heart is racing the whole time I'm doing it. I don't know, I guess I'm brave. Most of the time I'll go on short runs, but this was one of those longer runs that I just had to film to prove that even if you're near big bases, you can still farm. You gotta just have a bit of guts. Just go for it. What do you have to lose? Maybe I should take one. Finding another horse at this point was quite cool, because now I could leave one endlessly supplying me with fertilizer and another one to do short trips. Place looks like it's breaking down. Nice. Cool. I'm gonna deal with our teeth for now. Scrap. There's a lot of cloth. Alrighty. Let's get some blues. Hopefully today we don't end up messing up by killing our blue again. In the previous video I managed to get myself quite a nice blue clone. It was all 6 green. Unfortunately I planted it and forgot that I was keeping it for later and harvested the clone. I was just a few more berries away from making myself a pure scrap tea. I could still make an advanced one, so I later on went out with the advanced, at least being able to get enough scrap to research everything else that I needed to continue the wipe and for the future wipes ahead. After sorting out most of my crops, I decided it was now time to finish off making the scrap tea. I didn't yet have a pure one, but I had an advanced, so I went out for a bit of a scrap run with barrels. Barrel bashing seemed to be what I was good at the moment. So after making sure that at least I took care of the upkeep in my base, it was time to go out into the ocean. I might have wasted a lot of my boost that I had active, but I had enough scrap and a bit more to start researching the walls. That was my main priority right now, so I didn't worry about losing the extra 40 minutes that I had available to hit barrels. I just wanted to get back and get my compound down. And my TC door. Nice. I have to research that. I actually want to do that now. God, run. Although, nighttime looks like it's coming. Maybe I'll go scrap run. I started running out of space in my base, so I created a small shelf. At least I had a quick Dropbox area. This Dropbox ended up being such a key, the future of the video. I guess that's the best way that I can really explain it right now. But at least I had some extra storage to place some items and take care of the small, quick runs that I did. Start crafting walls then. While I was crafting walls, I realized I had a lot of unnecessary components in my boxes. So I took care of my farm just for a bit, waiting for nighttime to come. As nighttime came, I went to Bandit Camp, which was my nearest recycler, to go and recycle some of the components that I didn't feel were too necessary. Just chilling till night. I actually need to go down, close those. Now that nighttime has finally arrived, it was time to go out for the scrap run. I was quite surprised to see that my other horse was still outside the small base. I don't know if somebody thinks it's a little 2x1 or something like that, but hey, any transport would help. Oh, it is, yeah. That's cool. Can make it the rest of the way off. I actually want to check the camp. there's anything selling for metal or stone. This was something that I only learned this vibe, that you can sell metal and high quality and other items for scrap. Buying scrap or buying scrap? Nice. Now there's an event in Rust called airdrops. Every now and again, a plane flies by and drops an airdrop. This felt so scripted, but as I was about to get to my doorstep, I looked right next to myself, and there it was. Considering I had almost nothing on myself, I figured it's well worth the risk to take a look inside the crate. Anyone else watching this? I think so. How are you? Oh. I feel so scripted. Guys, I come back from my run. Airdrop in the middle of nowhere. Close. Yes, man. We got ourselves a gun. Best part is because we have two. We can roam. Roam with the gun now. Nice. Now, I don't know why I did this, but I got a bit bored while I was waiting for nighttime to pass by. I wanted to put down the walls around my base, so I ended up buying myself a new garage door skin. It just released, and it was pretty epic if you ask me. Now the only problem with that is sometimes I think I don't have self-control. So I ended up buying myself another door skin. This one, okay, it was a little bit more worth it because, you know, like an armored door, you can look through a hatch. This one, you could actually see through. Yeah, it's through now. It's just like having an armored door. Pay to win. There was a ladder hatch skin. I'll probably buy it. That's medical. Change that. Anywho, yeah, let's go research that for me. And then I think also place walls. Oh no. Yeah, that's right. That's okay. Finally, it's time for the moment I've been waiting for. To put down the first couple walls to the compound. I didn't realize it was going to cost this much stone, so I ended up having to do another run after placing down quite a few walls. Nice. Put an angle towards that. So, yeah. Just too big. Sort of see through there, but you can't get through, which is great. Should fit around. We're moving off. One of the few things about doing a lot of ocean scrap runs is that I managed to find myself quite a few of these barricades. To have a good security on the base, I needed metal barricades, but I hadn't yet researched them. So of course I needed to go for more scrap runs. But don't worry guys, we're coming to the close of this episode, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far, as much as I have, editing and filming it. The compound slowly coming together, and I can't wait until you guys see how it looks in the end. I'm gonna play some PC or something. so scuffed. It's alright. It's fine. I have a compound. Yeah. It's crazy as solo adventure. That's like putting together a compound and all the walls is always quite crazy, because you're always waiting to be jumped. And the thing about placing down these walls is that they're kind of permanent. Unless you have the explosives to blow them up and build yourself a new one, you've got to kind of stick to whatever you create. So every now and again, it's itself quite scuffed. Unless you're on flat land. But, you know, I'm building in oasis. Just barely there. Place it, I'll make it. Those ones. I see through these blocks. Place one wall again to make better just gaps. There we go. Still like a peek through. Even though the final placements of the walls ended up being quite scuffed, I was quite happy with the end result. I secured myself quite a large portion of this land, and I love the end result that I had Stevie's own little land, Stevie's compound. That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed all of the content that has been provided by Rust itself, and to those that have joined the subscriptions, once again, thank you so much for your support. I can't wait for you guys to see the next episodes. Editing and all of these things with work schedule is taking quite a while, so thank you so much for those that are sticking around until now. Bye bye.